Yeah. Yeah. Hi, I'm Colin of Bosworth Property Marrakech, and I'm joined here today on our inaugural podcast by our...
Hi, Colin.
So we're going to try and make this as interactive as possible. Please do contribute through the comments. Today, Pommelien, we're going to introduce ourselves, and we're also going to talk about market trends, how things are going currently in Marrakech. I'm thinking a lot of lifestyle issues about what it's like actually to live and work in Marrakech, and hopefully as well we can get some experts in. So who are you, Pommelien?
So I'm Pommelien. I've been actually in Marrakech for over 10 years now. We met, I think, a little bit. I worked a bit in tourism. I worked in the nonprofit sector, spent a lot of time in the Heartless Mountains. And then I joined the team. So yeah, what about you?
We'll come to me in a minute.
Yes.
But actually, you're Belgian.
Yes, I'm Belgian.
And you speak perfect.
Oh.
How did you acquire that language?
So I actually studied classical Arabic in Belgium, and then when I came here, I realized to put myself in a position to talk to people, and so I don't think it's perfect yet, but it's
Sounds
definitely
yeah, good. And you speak as well as Delijan and English, obviously. Coming from Belgium, you speak French and
Dutch.
And Dutch. Our team in general, where we have a polyglot team, we have Nadia from the United States, who also speaks Arabic and French. We have Abdul Qadir. Our Moroccan staff all speak English and French and Arabic, and we have some German as well in the team. So that's very interesting. Myself, Colin Bosworth, I founded this company officially in 2014. We've actually been working since 2012 in Medina. I moved into real estate officially, as I say, in 2014, and we're based here in the Place des Fers-Lantier. That's actually at the entrance to Riad Zitoun al-Qadim, the old House of the Olives. We're just a 5-minute walk this way to Jumal Fna, with the Bahia Palace just over there, and you can actually get a car to the door. So it's a great location. We've got about 140 square meters of offices here, guests and clients for talks. Let's have a little look at the property sector as we see it going at the moment. We're very strong here. How do you see trends at the moment?
I see a lot of people always interested in the Medina because, the beautiful architecture, the colors. And we see a lot of different projects in the Medina. We have people who really want to live here, but more either being maison d'hôte or guest house, or short-term rental properties. And a lot of people in the area, but very exciting.
It is. I mean, one of the advantages of Medina investment is that the real estate is actually limited. And what we have seen in the last couple of years, especially, is a big acceleration in these renovation projects across the city.
Yes, so much. A lot of the monuments, like the Madrasa Ben Yusuf, was completely renovated. I think like 3 years ago, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think it opened.
So,
and they have this ongoing program of renovation now across every district of the Medina.
Yeah.
All the facades, all the doors, and everything. In the last 4 or 5 years, really since COVID, is that some areas which previously would have been considered not prime, going across the Medina, traditionally Dar al-Basha, the Kasbah, these were areas where people would feel good to invest. And that is now expanded. I would say, I don't think you should invest there. If you look at Riyad La Rose, if you look at Sidi Ben Sliman, a lot of these areas, really good. And people are very happy.
Because you were living in Riyad La Rose most of the years that you've been living in the Medina, right?
Yes, first 10 years or so.
And so I'm sure that you've seen firsthand how that area developed. And
it came from Dar al-Basha and spilled over into there. And we're seeing that now again, spilling over into Sidi Ben Sliman and even Bab Tazout.
Yes.
All of these areas are now selling well. And I think the whole of the Medina will become an upmarket real estate investment.
Definitely.
And we're seeing that in prices as well, and continue on an upward trajectory in the Medina for sure.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people would be interested to hear now we have major international events coming, like the World Cup.
Yes.
This has definitely pushed a lot of interest and demand as well in the Medina prices. And
yeah, well, I think there are 3 major events in the next 4 or 5 years. Firstly, the African Cup of Nations. This is a big event, and there will be games hosted in Marrakech, and that's already in about a month's time. So that's driven.
December.
Yeah, that speed train coming. A bullet train coming from Casablanca Airport to Marrakech.
I'm so excited for this.
This is amazing because it'll actually bring Casablanca Airport. That is just incredible. I mean, that's all the big international flights, especially from the east, so from the Middle East and Asia, go into Casablanca. So that's very exciting.
And we've seen that already with the direct flights with the US and Canada that started about a year ago, I think.
Yeah, so Air Transat is flying from Montreal, and United are flying from Newark, New Jersey, and there's flights have just started actually with Delta, I believe, from Atlanta in Georgia, direct into Marrakech. So that's bringing that North American market right to our door. And you see a lot more Americans and Canadians in town.
Yes.
You can hear them, you can see them. And our client base as well is growing strongly in the US and Canada. So I think there's a lot of very good news when it comes to Marrakech's accessibility to the green lights in the future on infrastructure works and things like that, upgrading of the airports, etc. That I think demand will continue to grow. And as real estate in the Medina is strictly limited, not only in scope but in height, the prices are pretty much bound to continue to rise for the next 4 or 5 years at least. I wonder if they will continue to rise at the same pace because it's been quite a dramatic increase in real estate values within the Medina. But definitely there will be growth in the next few years. And what about outside the Medina? I mean, let's look at the new city. For those of you who are discovering Marrakech, basically we have 3 major zones. We have the Medina, which is the heart, the soul, the cultural identity of the city. And then we have Guéliz, which is the new city, basically started by the French about 130 years ago, 120 years ago, which is now a modern, bustling city with supermarkets and restaurants and bars and things. And then you have a sort of band around Marrakech where there's a lot of villa construction. So from the Palmeraie all across the Fez Road out to the Ouarzazate Road and Ourika Road, Amizmiz Road, all of these major axes to the south of the city where there is a lot of villa development at the moment. But if we come back to the new city, to Guéliz, Hivernage, how do you see it going there?
I see also a lot of development there, actually.
quickly. I would say that there are three major poles in the new city: Gillies, Central Gillies, Hivernage, where you can find the Sofitel and the other big hotels, Nobu, and Majorelle.
Yeah.
And what I've been seeing is, again, relatively brisk price increases,
Definitely.
even with supply increasing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think I used to actually live in Majorelle for about 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I had to move out of one of the apartments I was living in is because they were selling.
Right.
But I think it was like a really cute apartment at the time. It sold for like 70,000 euros, and I think now it would be worth like at least double, which is crazy when you think of it.
Mm.
So yeah, there definitely the prices have gone up.
Yeah, I think even though supply is increasing in those city center areas, I think demand is so high that, again, geographically they're limited. You know, I don't think that supply can continue to grow very much, which is a little bit the contrary to the villa sector, our third main sector. So there are a number of subsectors, if you like, in the villa market. The luxury villas, standalone, multi-million euro villas, they'll always have a market at the top end. And then you have the secure residences with very good standing, such as Amelkis, such as Almaden, Fairmont to the south, Fairmont Royal Palm. These continue to be very much in demand and get very good prices for them. But I wonder about your take on the new residences which are being built, of which there are many.
So many.
So many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder sometimes like how it can continue, because there is demand obviously, but it's more for the developments that you just described. So I do wonder how that's gonna go in the future, because every time I go out there is either Rue de Fez, Rue d'Amizmiz, Ourika, there's so much development that at some point you do wonder, will there be
a plateau?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know.
I think so. It's the one sector I'm a little bit concerned about in the Marrakech region at this time is the mid-range villas between 500,000 and €1 million on a closed residence, basically. Where personally, I know of more than 5,000 villas under construction at this time. Wow. When they come onto line, and there must be a lot more. It's difficult to keep up with everything.
Really
probably 10 or 15,000 villas currently being constructed. So a lot of these are looking to tap into the World Cup phenomenon, I think.
Yes.
A lot of them are being, they're investment properties where people are looking for short-term rental.
Yeah.
And for now, they're working superbly well. So that's continuing. However, as this supply increases dramatically, it's got to have an effect on price, no? I would have thought so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We see the prices of land increasing as well. We have clients looking for city centre building land to build apartment blocks and whatever, and you know, you're easily looking at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 euros per square meter in a decent area, which again is double what it was only 4 or 5 years ago.
We also have a lot of demand for land in the Medina, because a lot of people, you know, they prefer to build their like dream project from the ground up. But this is becoming more rare. I don't know if you agree with me, to find like bare land.
Yeah, what I see is a lot of people buying what we call ruins. They're not always ruins, but properties to demolish. And they will demolish and start again.
Yeah.
You can also find decent quality properties to renovate within the Medina. And what we're seeing now, as the stock in old Gillies ages, we see a lot of renovation work actually in Gillies as well. We sold a very nice apartment a couple of weeks ago, which is basically going to be gutted and redone in a modern style, which is interesting because people usually would just go in and do a bit of painting, whatever. But it's actually a good investment to buy an old apartment and to do it up. It's about location at the end of the day.
Yeah, I do like the old apartments. The volumes of the space is very nice compared to the new builds. I feel like, I mean, depending again, but yeah.
Yeah, I can just hear the call for prayer in the background. I don't know if that's picking up on the microphones, but it's Friday afternoon, so there's a lot of music, let's call it, from the mosques around Marrakech Medina, of which there are hundreds. So it's a very interesting environment and a great place to live, to be honest.
It is, yeah.
You know, I've been here more than 15 years now, and I've loved every day of it. What I really enjoy is the welcome, the people. Very, very sincere in their welcome, and sometimes as a tourist you can go somewhere and feel, well, I'm only here for the money. But in Marrakech, there's a real culture of hospitality, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So I also like the weather.
I know you do. Oh my God.
Weather in Marrakech, wow. We've got some fantastic weather. It actually rained yesterday, which is amazing. So now we've got snow on the mountaintops, which is great. So here we have a question from @Enjoy. It says, what risks and strategic considerations should businesses plan for in 2025? I think that's a good question. I think basically when you're looking at an investment environment, we'll talk about a personal environment in a minute, but as an investment environment, you're looking at one of the most secure environments for me in the world. You've got generational planning from the top of government. This is a constitutional monarchy, and yet the crown retains significant influence over politics in the country. So you've got a very, very stable long-term plan in place. You've also got a great rapprochement with Europe. We're only 8 kilometers from Spain, from the top of Morocco. So
not from Marrakech, but
from
the
Morocco.
north.
So it's a very close neighbor.
Yeah.
Very good relationship with the United States, and also a very good relationship with countries as diverse as Israel, as Russia, the Middle East. So it's politically and economically remarkably stable. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel it's very stable. I think what draws many people here is the proximity to Europe. They feel, and it's also a very welcoming environment. I think if you spend a little bit of time here, I think you would easily feel confident enough to, dare to invest here, which I don't think would be necessarily the case for many other foreign places that people may visit. And I think, again, it's like the people, the environment, the safety. I feel very safe here.
Personal safety, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which is really important.
Yeah. I see, strategically, I would say this, but I do think it's now. I think with the World Cup on the horizon in 2030, I think that's a natural horizon. And I think if you are considering an investment in Morocco, I think it's good for the long term, but I think that we're going to see significant increases in prices between now and 2030. So I would seriously consider looking at the safety of the investment, the legal system, which is very good. It works. Here we have, when you're purchasing property particularly, you have a notarial system, so taken straight from the French legal system, whereby you have a central notary who does diligence for both parties. If you're buying freehold title, it is guaranteed by the government. It's perfectly safe. And basically, you've got the possibility to export dividends if you're making profit, and you've got the possibility, if you come to sell your asset in the future, to export all of your funds out of Morocco, which wasn't always the case, and now it is. So I think there's a lot of investment-friendly regulation in place at the moment. There's support for businesses when they come to set up. So you get 4 years exoneration on your company tax, for example, not your profits tax, but your company tax. And there's a good, robust tribunal system. So it makes a lot of sense to me. What are the risks? The risks are, there are always risks in business, I suppose. I think for Morocco, the main risks are actually external. I think it's the world economy, it's what's going on in various parts of the world, which could eventually have an impact on Morocco. I think internally it's looking rock solid. It's a very interesting environment. We're seeing a lot of inward investment at the moment from some of these trouble spots where people are thinking, well, I'm looking for a safe haven, I want good returns on my investment, where can I go? And I think Morocco is rising up that list of desirable investment destinations.
Definitely, politically as well, a lot of people come here and they're like, we just want to be in a peaceful place where it feels,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it should be said as well that the religious tolerance and the cultural tolerance is quite remarkable. I mean, we're sat here next to the Jewish quarter. Yesterday I was down at the Christian church. There's a Catholic church there. We sadly buried a member of the British community this morning at the European cemetery. There's a great interweaving, if you like, of the different belief systems and cultures. And you see that across Marrakech. In fact, it's a very
and across,
cosmopolitan.
Morocco
environment.
even very. It's again the people for me are like the best part.
It is. How did you experience that up in the Atlas Mountains? Were you also welcomed as a European? Was that something that?
Oh yeah, and I think it's even very different than Marrakech. I think Marrakech is highly influenced, by the Atlas because so many people come from Atlas communities to live here, do business here. But hospitality there, I would say, is on a whole other level. So, alhamdulillah, I've had only great experiences. You have another question?
We do. I don't know who this is from. It says, which neighborhoods are expected to grow or trend in 2025? So if we're talking about the Medina, definitely Sidi Ben Slimane.
We've had a lot of properties this year there.
A lot of sales. It's beautiful, it's quiet, it's traditional, and it's right next to Riyad Lados, so it's accessible. So Sidi Ben Slimane is high on my list of trending
I agree with that,
districts. I would also go with Bab Tazout, which is the other side of Sidi Ben Slimane. And for me, it's even more desirable because the access is that much better. There's a big car park there. You've also got, on the Bab Tazout side, you've got the fabulous monument of Zawiya Sidi Bel Abbes, which is absolutely stunning. Not a lot of people go there. I was there last week with some guests, and they absolutely loved it. They couldn't believe it. Why is this not in the guidebooks? So Sidi Ben Slimane, Bab Tazout, Aswell, we see doing very well. Aswell is a quarter which is sort of, I suppose, towards the east. Historically very residential, but again, we're seeing a lot of investment into Aswell.
A lot of guest houses there, actually.
A lot of guest houses, again, for the accessibility. And I'm going to surprise people by saying the Mokaf. Now, the Mokaf has traditionally been...
that is always interesting,
It's always been the last place you would want to invest in, yet. So prices there remain very affordable. You've got fabulous access to some amazing property, and basically it's following on from Bab Tazout. So that, for me, on a slightly longer term, that is the push, the axis of push for me. From Riyad Lados through Sidi Ben Slimane, Bab Tazout, and the Mokaf. I think this is where it's happening.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think there's like a movement in that direction towards the east. Yeah. And I think as well as people come back to Marrakech, it's not their first time. The attraction of Jemaa el-Fna in itself as the must-be place to stay is diminishing somewhat.
For sure.
I know there's a big renovation project going on in Jemaa el-Fna right now, and it will be fabulous, and it will continue to attract millions of people every year. But I think if you're looking to invest here, you're looking for somewhere a little bit away from that. So 10-15-minute walk is fine,
Yeah, and I mean, aside from Jemaa el-Fna, there's so many other beautiful historic monuments that draw tourists where you would probably spend more time than Jemaa el-Fna. So I would definitely also... I always tell clients, like, don't be too stuck on being like 10 minutes from Jemaa el-Fna walk, like explore the other areas because they're really worth it.
What we're seeing, I'm not saying it's because we moved our offices here, but just behind us here in the Milla, we're also seeing a lot of sales. We had a very nice sale today in the Milla. And this, certainly on our side of the Milla, is growing very, very fast. We're seeing a lot of sales there. And because of its proximity to the Place des Feux Blantiers, the Badi Palace, the Bahia Palace, and 10 minutes to Jemaa el-Fna. So it makes a lot of sense. So those are basically my list of growing and trending districts in the Medina in 2025. And I think 2026, 27 we'll see a lot more as well. I think all the way out Bab Ailen, Bab el-Khamis.
I actually really like Bab Ailen.
I love it. I love the street markets there.
It's
there's an atmosphere.
It's so good, And there's a lot of big properties actually, a lot of old historic riads. There's so much like square meter the square meter footprints there are quite big. But we'll see where that goes.
So listen, we're coming to the end of today's podcast. Please leave comments. Let us know what you would like to know. Let us know what you would like us to discuss in future podcasts. Quite happy to branch into anything that's of interest to you. We have accumulated a lot of experience in Marrakech and the region here in the office. I'm very happy to share with you. We look forward to getting as many comments as possible so that we can orientate ourselves for our coming podcast. So thank you very much. Thank you, Pommelien. Fabulous talking with you today.
You too, and thanks for everyone who watched.
And thank you to Leo as well, who's been manning the tech. I hope it's all worked seamlessly. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.